Good evening, everybody. It's actually Saturday, June 13th, just after 6 o'clock. I'm actually shooting the second of 2 videos for the week. I have time, so I'm going to shoot it. In the previous video, you saw me talk about this computer over here that is for sale. There was a little bit of discussion that came up a couple weeks ago that spurred me to make this video, and that was when I talked about my new Litchfield County Computer's new cloud service. I wanted to talk about proper and safe usage of cloud services and what the cloud actually is and what you're doing when you store data on the cloud, because I find a lot of people don't know what it is. The cloud is basically another term for the internet, and the reason that the cloud was coined was because the cloud is the symbol that IT consultants use when we draw up network diagrams for our clients, when we're setting up networks for people. When we draw those diagrams, the cloud is the symbol on the diagram that we use to represent the internet. And the term the cloud came to be used to represent services that are based on the internet. Now, we've been using cloud services for a very long time. In fact, when you jump on your web browser and when you look at your email, you're basically using cloud services. Toward the middle 2005, from about 2005 forward, that also began to expand to include storing other data on the internet, such as documents, and sometimes a lot of documents, databases, etc., etc. But there is a proper way to use the cloud, and there are some safety considerations when using the cloud. When you use the internet, basically what you're simply doing is you're talking to another computer with your computer. Those of you that remember dial-up modems, same concept, just a lot slower. You're using your computer to talk to another computer, and that's all the internet is. It is a large network of computers. That's it. Thus, when you use the cloud, basically what you're doing is you're putting data on a computer that you don't physically own and that you have no physical access to. And you're relying on whatever cloud provider you're using to make sure that your data is safe. Now, as long as there is more than one copy of this data, you're okay. But if there isn't, you need to look out. And there are companies that put everything they have in the cloud thinking that it's going to be okay, that the cloud provider is going to do what they're supposed to do to keep their data safe. Well, number one, sometimes they don't. Number two, stuff happens. And stuff happens that is way beyond the expected and way beyond the cloud provider's control. So, when this happens, and there's only one copy of the data and it's all gone, it's a huge problem. You've heard me talk about backups about 1,000 times on this channel. And this gets back into the issue of backups and backing up your data. Always have a plan A, B, C, and D in case something happens, because you never know when it will, and you never know what it will be. I've had 2 clients' houses catch fire and burn to the ground. I had another individual that I know that all their stuff was stored on Apple iCloud, and her kids accidentally did some excessive deletion of files. And they wound up losing a whole pile of stuff that was only on the iCloud. There was no backups of this data at all. And she had contacted me, and we went through a couple of things real quick, and we found out pretty quickly that the data was just simply gone. It was not a good situation. So again, if you don't have multiple backups of your data and you're storing it in the cloud, you're taking a sizable gamble. And I would strongly recommend, it's company policy that proper use of the cloud, you have more than one backup of the data that's on a cloud device. Preferably you have 2. This gets into something called the 3-2-1 rule, which I will cover in another video because this one is getting a little bit long. And as always, feel free to rate, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see everyone next time. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.